Hey everybody, welcome to episode 18 of Orillia. Today I am at Rustica Pizza Vino with the owner and operator, Jenna Clarke. Jenna, thank you so much for being on the show.
My pleasure.
So I like to start every episode off by giving you an opportunity to introduce to the audience and to me a little bit about who you are and what you do.
My name is Jenna Clarke and I own Rustica. We opened 2 years ago, a week ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, my life basically is here now and forevermore, pretty much, in this building.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So how did you get into the restaurant business?
I grew up crawling around the floors of Brewery Bay. My parents opened the Brewery Bay when I was almost 4, so that's how we ended up in Orillia. They saw an advertisement in the paper, and my dad moved up here 3 months before we did. When we moved up here, if we wanted to see my dad, we went to Brewery Bay. Right. So it was a great way to collect change by crawling around the floor and checking under the bar.
That's how you saved up to start this place?
That's where it started, yeah.
Awesome. So you just celebrated 2 years of business, and the community's really sort of wrapped themselves around this restaurant. Every time I've been here, which is probably more than I even should be, it seems to be packed and everybody's loving it. What to you is the most important element of running a successful restaurant in Orillia?
I don't think necessarily specific to Orillia, but I mean, word of mouth is so important. So you have to focus on the quality of what you're doing. So whether it's, obviously the food is so important, but if the food is amazing and your service is lacking, it doesn't get to the table on time and stuff. So you have to make sure you surround yourself with good people who are taking care of your vision, and that's definitely people we have here.
You can definitely sense when you get your meal here that there's pride in service and in the quality of the food.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The kitchen is like the most passionate people they're in the back.
You have to be to put
You may not have met them yet, but
I haven't met them yet, but
bring them out.
I've tasted their food and it's absolutely amazing. So you guys serve more than just pizza, but I know you guys for your pizza because who doesn't love pizza? Yeah. And your pizza is absolutely amazing. Thanks. What's the most important element of a great pizza?
The ingredients. So that is almost our whole focus. Like presentation is, I mean, with pizza you can kind of throw it on and it still looks delicious as long as there's cheese, although some people don't want cheese on it. But the dough, the sauce, those are the two most important parts. It doesn't matter what you put on. If you have dough and sauce, it can still taste delicious. So we focus on the 4 ingredients that go into our dough. We home make it every day or every other day. In the sauce, we import the tomatoes because they're a sweeter, less acidic version of tomatoes that we can get here. So. And
I think I have a friend that owns a pizza place in Barrie as well, and he's always saying that if you have great tomatoes, your sauce doesn't have to be all that fancy.
Yeah.
I think that, a mistake that I've heard people make is they put too many ingredients in their sauce.
Oh, yeah.
And it becomes, it feels more
Yeah, we don't cook it at all. There's 5 ingredients in our sauce. It's salt, pepper, the San Marzano tomatoes, olive oil, and basil. That's Beautiful. It. And then it's blended and we don't cook it and I could drink it. It's so good. But it's sweet and as soon as you start adding in sugar or anything like that, you're going to change the perception of what you're trying to do. You don't taste the tomatoes anymore, then you're tasting like a sweet red sauce.
Exactly. So Orillia has grown tremendously over the past few years. One of the things that's really taken us from where we were to where we are today is we've had the introduction of some great restaurants like yours, and it's really helped the community in general. What has it been like running a business in Orillia?
It's been awesome. It's been cool. You see, the change in the season brings on different challenges. So through the winter, yes, it's cold, but we still somehow have the regulars coming in. Even in April when we had the massive snowstorm, there were 3 cars stuck out the front. We're out trying to shovel them out after they finish their meal, but we have people who come in and have supported us since day 1 or the first month in when they first came here. And then in the summer, it's just chaos. It's absolute chaos. Everyone loves Orillia, and they make the 3-hour trip to get here in the summer. Yeah. So we get to meet people from all over the world, let alone all over the province. Right. So we have people coming in and enjoying what we're doing. But people in Orillia are appreciating it too. We weren't sure at the beginning because we were trying to do something a little bit different, like a different style of pizza, a different style of cooking. So we weren't sure how people would receive it, and actually Orillia has been amazing. It's been so fun. But the truth is, like, word of mouth, it gets, so you have your customers that you love, and then you meet their family, and then you meet their family. So it's been cool. You don't get that in a big city, I don't think. Not as much.
It's really hard to get that sort of viral effect of somebody telling somebody, and it all sort of, you can see it in your restaurant.
Like, I know your cousin's sister's husband.
Exactly. So you and I have sort of a unique story personally in the fact that we've both married people that are not from Orillia and not even from Canada. My wife's from Pittsburgh, your husband's from Australia, a little bit different, but we've both brought people from outside of Canada to Orillia. What's that been like for your husband, coming from all the way from Australia to little old Orillia?
People laugh. A lot of people have asked me that, not in an interview session, but just on the streets, people are like, really, how does he, especially if people grow up here and have never left Orillia, I don't think you see it for what it is.
Right.
So when Daniel moved over December 2015, it was winter. So I was a bit nervous because I was like, this isn't how I love to profile Orillia when I'm explaining it to people. But he moved over. He obviously was still fascinated by snow and the cold. And I think by March, April, he was ready to see what the summer would bring. But he loves Orillia. He came from a town of 10,000 people, but lived in Melbourne for a long time. And then after we started dating, he moved to London, England for a year. So he's been kind of like the biggest and the smallest. And Orillia kind of, it's bigger than his hometown. So it offers more culture and diversity, but like it's artistic culture. But even like the shops and restaurants and stuff. But he loves Orillia. We're surrounded by water, and there's always, I mean, if you're looking to come clubbing, I wouldn't promote Orillia, but in every other sense, I would absolutely.
Awesome. So the way that I end every interview is with the question that, we've named the show after, and especially having a husband that's from the other side of the world. You guys could live anywhere in the world, but you've chosen Orillia. Why Orillia?
Personally, for me, every time I left Orillia, I fell more in love with it. So when I would go to school, I would come back, and I usually spent the summers here working. And then when I graduated, I traveled for 3 years, 6 different continents, and every time I found myself comparing wherever I was to Orillia, and I'm like, but in Orillia, we have Aplandi's Cafe, which is, it's just so cute. Cold, rainy, hot, doesn't matter. There's so many cute places in Orillia where you can walk into, and it doesn't matter who you are or where you're from, you'll feel comfortable. The sense of community here is, no one's left out, no one's left behind, and if you see someone struggling, someone will have their back, and that's different. It doesn't, you're not offered that in other parts of the world necessarily, and even if they're beautiful or they have, a more diverse food culture, you can learn from that, and part of what we're trying to do is learn from what we've seen in other places and bring it back here, so that the people that we love, I mean, my family is here, so of course, naturally, I love it even more. But my grandparents ended up moving up here from Toronto about 8 years after us, and they love Orillia too, so it's just charming, I think. So
thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Tell people where they can find you, either online or actually in person.
Oh yeah, well, I'm always at the restaurant. If I'm not out here, then I'm in the kitchen or maybe downstairs. But you can find us online, www.rusticapizzavino.com, or stalk us on Instagram or Facebook, whatever it is, if you want more information.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.